Good evening, guys, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. Oh, we're up. Can someone just check that sound and everything looks okay, sounds okay? Oh, people were on early, weren't they? There's a slug. And Evans, cheers, buddy. Uh-oh. Wayne Swatton. It's an exciting one, this one today. I'm quite chuffed about this one. This is the sort of competition that I'd like to win. So if anyone wants to run their own competition, put me down for one of these. Going to give everyone a chance to log in. You know, there's people are logged in early today, waiting. Looks like it's a popular one. Daniel Roberts, good evening. Nick Stacey, South Coast Beach and Boat, Phil Chambers, Wayne Swatton, John Humphreys, Nick Mann. Good evening, Nick. I hope you haven't got loads of sneaky little entries in. Good evening, Dan Richards, Will Lewis, Andy Cole. Yeah, good evening, guys. It's all guys there. I can say that because I can't see a lady's name up there yet. £7, not 6. How are you today, mate? I'm all good. Yeah, I was at work today, of all things. So, for me, I'm just going to dim this down a little bit because it's I can see it reflecting. Yeah, sorry, I was at work this morning, and on my way back, it is literally line of sight from my work to my door. I stopped off at the boat on the way back, just check it over, make sure everything's okay. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, anything you want to go through, I haven't really got an agenda for tonight. I'm going to give everyone a chance to log in, make sure it's past the time that I've stated that I was going to do the draw, and do the draw. I've got it all loaded up, all ready to go. Not the fingers of fire, busy beavering, typing away tonight. I'm a little bit more organised. Gender fluid. What do you mean? Did I enter this? I don't know, because I have no input to this at all. If you've still got time, you've got 10 minutes. You've genuinely got 10 minutes because I'll refresh it and then I'll pick the winner. So in the live video, February competition live, type bait in the comment section. It's gonna come up with loads of comments and all the rest of it, I'm sure. One entry per person for the monthly draw, and we'll refresh it. I'll show you the screen. I'll press the button, and the confuser picks a winner. I don't have any input on it. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, blasting out names. Nigel, Jellyhead. Some people pick some cracking names. Martin Spiff, Steve Newell, Wayne Swatton, Glorious Fishing, Captain Dano, Stephen Uren. Good evening. Yeah, same here. Been welding all day, looking out the workshop, thinking what a lovely day to be out. Yesterday and today, stunning, absolutely stunning weather. It's a peak at spring. Spring is literally just round the corner. In Glorious Fishing, Dano, what's the price? £75 of mail order bait, to be decided depending on what you want. If it can be mail ordered and I can order it and pay for it online, I've got a place that I can use. But if people got a specific, you know, these competitions are never about punting something, pushing something. It's purely to give anglers something that they'd like. So yeah, £75 worth of online frozen bait, I suppose, is you don't want it warm and smelly. It buys you a lot. It'll fill your freezer. Or share it with your buddies, or pick a trip, you know, and get all your bait organised and think, what am I going to use for that? I'm going to use some squid and some cuttle and some fresh this or that. Well, I don't know, but we'll order it. If it can be ordered online, we'll order it. Wayne, it's the wrong way. It's the wrong video to be commenting. Am I catching place down here? No. Are people catching place? They're catching the early ones. And Wayne Combin, I was chatting to him online earlier on, and he says it's the skinny ones. The fat ones haven't arrived yet. It's the really hungry, keen ones that started showing up. But a few, very sporadic, not very many. Fishing is dire down here at the moment. If you want to catch a doggy, brilliant. Knock yourself out. Catch as many doggies as you want. If you want to catch something else, that's something else altogether. Sparks, good evening. Oi, oi. Lee Jones, Martin Browning, landlocked sea fishing. I'm always curious about that one. Andy Collins, Sparks. Are you on the rum tonight? It's a school night. It's work tomorrow. No, it's a fruit-based beverage designed for children, but it's got no alcohol in it. It's just, I usually jibber jabber that much that I get a little bit dry and throaty. There's a joke in there somewhere. Yeah, so it's pop. Went fishing this morning only to catch tins in a slag. Just wondering where I can buy the yellow bottle of stuff you were using in your last video for cleaning your... Oh, motorbike place. Anywhere that sells motorbikes. Online, Amazon, yeah, FS365. I've been using it. Some people have worries of what it might do to finishes and whether it can affect your mono, or but be careful with it. Spray it onto a cloth, then put it on something. If I've got like really teeny tiny rod eyes, then I'll put the cloth behind it and give it a little squirt with the bottle. It lasts forever. It's expensive. It genuinely is expensive. But the expense to longevity, you know, it lasts. You buy a bottle, it lasts you a couple of seasons, couple of years, depending on how crazy you go with it. You'd be putting little dabs behind your ears because you'd be like so impressed with it. It's good stuff. Brian Harris, good evening, buddy. Cornell, Steve Newell, you alluded to we'll have a little fisherman story while we're waiting for everyone, because we're still 5 minutes early for the comp at the very least. A fisherman story, how big was it? I've been chasing the full house of rays for about 18 months now. So last year I managed the common skate from boat and shore, a decent blonde, small-eyed, spotted, undulate, a very small thornback. It pretty much whittled down to what was possible. The only one I was missing was a cuckoo. And I loves ray fishing. Everyone knows I loves a ray. So last week I went to a very specific mark, hoping to get a thornback. Fishing from the boat, local to where I live, literally spitting distance. I wasn't miles out to sea or anything like that. So I'm out in the boat. I'm going to fish 4 rods, and I'm fishing purely for a thornback. So I'm using mackerel and squid wrap. A very well-known South Coast bait for thornbacks. I know some people don't like them and they catch loads of them, but I'm looking at a PB one. I want a double figure and better thornback. 3 rods out. Didn't even rig the camera, because I usually put my rods out and then I rig the camera. 3 rods out. Got the 4th one in my hand, just clipping on my traces and doing my bits. One of the rods went nuts, and when I mean nuts, it was bent over and it was swimming up tide. It was going up the tide, against the tide. You can see the line going up through the water, and straight away I'm thinking, well, that's not a conger, because conger don't do that. It's not cod, because we're sort of back end of cod season and they don't do that. I instantly thought it might be a smoothhound, a very early smoothhound. And then as I lifted into it, you could feel the pulsing of the rod. It was definitely a ray. Got it all the way to the side of the boat. Nervous. Do I get the camera? You know, the camera's not rigged. It's not. Oh, do I do the fakey bit where you bring it into the boat and put it in a bucket and then switch all the camera on and sort of say, oh, I've just caught this. And you don't get to see the action, do you? Everyone wants to see the action. Got it to the side of the boat and I dithered. Properly dithered. I didn't know whether to net it because I could see it was big. I didn't know whether to cheek it. I was thinking about the camera and the fact that I'm missing some really good footage. And I held the hook. Why I did it, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I held the hook snood and it turned on the line snap and disappeared. And it was easily my PB thornback ray. It was a double figure thornback ray. And I was just stunned. I was holding on to my trays and I was just stood there in the boat thinking, why did I do that? But I did. I've never done it before, and I doubt if I'll ever do it again. So when I alluded to losing a PB, it was, as best you can tell, because you can't tell, its nose was out of the water. It was by the side of the boat. All I had to do was cheek it or put a net underneath it, and I held the hook snood. And silly, quite close as well. £40 amnesia. The fish sort of slid sideways, and it just went. It just like left there holding a snap line. It wasn't good. So that's my fisherman story. What do you think of ox liver for bait? It's oily and cut strips for flays. I think anything can be used, because you can use earthworms, garden worms, you can use all manner streaky bacon anywhere where kids go crabbing. So they use streaky bacon in those little things, and the fish get a taste for it, and the bass, specifically spring summer, when the kids go crabbing, and the streaky bacon is killer on some of the rivers near where I live. A 2-inch spoon with streaky bacon on the end, they go nuts for it. So liver, I don't know, is the honest answer. The fly fisherman would say you've got to match the hatch, put something in the water that's very close. So if you go bait digging, use the bait that's dug from that shore, because bait from somewhere else doesn't fish as well. Squid, when people buy squid, the calamari seem to fish well, but the Chinese supermarket stuff, in some beaches they won't even touch it, and yet in some other places they will. So if it works, and experimentation is the only way you can find that out. If it works, yeah, that's all credit to you. But I've not heard of ox liver for bait. Seems quite exotic. Exotic. Shaky Angler, oi Mark, how's it going? Skippy Kung Fu, SKF. I'll get the jab tomorrow and get back to work having some fun fishing. Yeah, I suppose with the jabs being rolled out, I suppose more and more of us will be able to say that we've been jabbed. I'm getting tested each week at work. They're really proactive. You know, we get that swab thing, and they check to see if you've got it or not. Once you touch it, I knew someone was going to say that. Once you touch the trace, it counts as yours. They do that with shark and marlin, don't they? I've touched the trace. I've touched the trace. Well, I prefer to see it, like properly in the boat. Bear pa, is it bear pa or pa? I don't know. Good evening, buddy. Jamie Steed, Scott James, Wales fishing, Hackhand, had jab. Yeah, so I'm almost caught up with all the comments now. So if anyone's got any questions, while we just wait for the last few. So there's 81 people online. There's 130 something last time I checked entries. Biggest black bream I've ever seen. I just tried to pinged off. It's devastating, isn't it? If you lose something, and then afterwards you think, well, why did I do that? What on earth was I thinking? But we do it. It was big. Only counts in comps. Yeah, I'm not even going to call it. You know, I'm still chasing my PB Thornback, and we're getting very close into that. So if that one's there, then there's others following it. Lee Madden, good evening, buddy. I'm all good. I'm fit, well, healthy, and chipper, I think is a good description. You know, the weather makes a difference, doesn't it? A bit of sunshine for 2 days, and all of a sudden, you know, the world is lifted. You know, you feel a lot better. Not allowed to go fishing in Wales soon, I hope. Right, yeah, so I don't want to get into politics of what you are and what you aren't allowed to do. We've got this no overnight, walking distance only, local, within your postcode. I'm not going to say postcode area. Within your locality, I think they're calling it. I don't know. It's so vague. I wish they'd give black and white. I know they can't. But if they said, right, from your house, no further than X amount of miles away, or, you know, you can do this and you're not allowed to do that. They give little bits, but they don't give detail, do they? Angling Trust seem to have been doing a good job. They've been trying to clarify things. They've been doing their best, trying to make sure that it's all organised and we're not going to get in trouble. Good evening, Barry. Give a like. I'm not chasing likes, buddy. By all means, if you want to, but I'm not chasing them. What do you think of the Hangover rig? Right, so Hangover. So the Hangover piece from Trident, yeah, I like that. I like that little piece. So there's two things from Trident Tackle that I really do like, genuinely, and I don't change my tune on these things, and that's the Termalink Mark 1, because I haven't tried the Mark 2. So I can wholeheartedly say that the Mark 1 Termalink, I like that. It's a cracking bit of kit. I use it on the end of all my main lines, and I use it on my clip-on hook snoods. I can't see anything wrong with the Mark II, just I haven't been able to purchase them because they're sort of not shut down, but they're having supply problems at the moment. And the Hangover on the end of an SRT spring, yeah, I like that. It's really small, isn't it? It's my sausage fingers, but it's yeah, it's really small, nice, compact, does exactly what it's supposed to do. So I'm working on a Trident Mark II up and over rig, because I know the first version wasn't the be all and end all, and I like to have the conversations, try it out, make changes, and then do a part 2. So if anyone's got anything that they can suggest on the first one, by all means. What do you think? Yeah, I've done that one. Alan Gixer, good evening, buddy. We are not allowed to drive to go fishing. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much where they're going. So it's no unnecessary trips, journeys, or like only essential travel. I get that. And then where does that leave you with everything else? I don't know. I don't want to annoy people by coming out with something judgmental. I honestly don't know myself. I think if you want to play 100% safe, the be all and end all of it is don't go anywhere, don't do anything. But then I have to travel 20 miles to go to work, and I'm a key worker. So I go 20 miles to work, 20 miles back from work. Straight there, straight back. So I don't know is the honest answer. But I think being on your own, separated from everyone else on a beach, and I know what the argument is, they'll say it's the travelling to and from, you're putting people at risk. So I don't know. Terminal link has a big hole and the grooves are bigger. Okay, I think they've gone from feedback that people have given them. I've made some suggestions to them. I don't know if they listen or not. I think they do. Trent Terminal link has, yeah, we've done that. Just need to pinch someone with a blue badge to drive to fishing in Wales. Mr. Workshop Ramblings. So I did a workshop live. I did like a live from the workshop. Yeah, I suppose it's just been difficult. It genuinely has, because to do the workshop videos, I feed off of what I'm doing, repairing, prepping for, fixing, looking after. But we've not been fishing. We've not been fishing, so there's nothing to do in the workshop. Workshop is actually fairly tidy at the moment. When I say tidy as it gets. I look for a 2-inch screw, and I have to empty the shelves to get it, and then I'll find it right in front of myself. But yeah, workshop ramblings, I'm not going to give up on those. I enjoy doing those. Workshop ramblings for me is sort of a hark back, and it's not, don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing myself to it, but they remind me personally of one of the favourite things I used to watch as a kid, and that was Jack Hargreaves. And he used to film in his shed. He used to have they used to set up like a studio bit in his shed. And I always remember that. That's ingrained on me as a kid now. Watching Jack Hargreaves, I used to love it. I've heard stories since about what he used to get up to, and that just intrigues me even more. Do more beach fishing or boat fishing. Beach fishing. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to go out on my boat because I enjoy going out, and if I'm going to go out, I'm going to film it. Beach fishing. I've got unfinished business. I've got one of my target species this year, once restrictions allowed, so I'd like to catch stingray from the beach. Excuse me. A stingray from the beach. Never caught one. I know they're dangerous and all the other bits and pieces. I'd like to catch a stingray from the beach. Unfinished business with smooth hound filming. I've got different cameras now, and I'd like to catch some significant smooth hounds from the beach. My last video, something goes wrong with the sound. Never could correct it, but I like the footage. Jasper the fishing hound came with me on that one. So what was that? So that's smoothhound, stingrays, black bream. I'd like to go and visit Nick Mann again and go and fish his local area, which is a distance from me. Haven't caught wrasse at all from the beach. The Chesil, I'd like to this whole year was full of at least one visit a month to Chesil, and I was going to fish all the sections from Portland Bay all the way up to, you know, like West Bexington and maybe even further on from that, and all the Fleet and you know, all of those Dragon's Teeth, and do a whole bit throughout the year of once a month going to fish in Chesil. Obviously restrictions, can't do it. And there's a couple of areas I'd like to fish as well. Salesy, unfinished business at Salesy, and loads of beach fishing. I'm keen as mustard. Just redone the bearings on my Penn 525s. I've got my Century fire blades that need to be given a proper workout. I want to do some casting lessons. There's loads and loads. But yeah, beach fishing. It's not off the cards. It's just hasn't been possible. Can't wait to get out in the sun myself. Thank you, out of his mate. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. But Andy Cole, sorry, I jibber jabbered on, didn't I? Yeah, I've got loads of stuff I'd like to do from the beach, buddy. Talking about blue badges. Jack Hargreaves, I thought he was brilliant. There were some people that didn't like it. I used to think, and another one. Some people say he's really annoying. They don't. Rex Hunt, the Aussie bloke, he was absolutely mad as a box of frogs. I used to love watching that. Jack Hargreaves joke. Yeah, Jack Hargreaves seems to have been a popular character. It's interesting, isn't it? It's amazing. Going to be hard to catch this year. I've spent hours this week trying to chase down some frozen peelers. Don't use frozen peelers for smoothhounds. Hardback crab. Smoothhounds do not differentiate between a peeler and hardback crab. For £3 on an online type place, get yourself one of those little kiddies crab nets, the ones that lay flat and then you pull up, a mackerel head or piece of squid or something's a bit tough that, you know, they can't just put out. Any pier, any jetty, any wall, just lay it down. 15 minutes you can have 60 to 100 hardback crabs. Hardback crabs, because the soft peelers don't feed, so you won't catch them in that net. And if you take the back legs off, put a 4-0 wide mouth hook through the two sockets, elastic all the legs on one side, up the shank of the hook. The take on a hardback crab is harder, I think, personally, than on a peeler. And my theory of that is they circle the crab flares, you know, tries to flare with his claws, and they smash it from the back. And they always get corner hooked. Hardback crab, don't use peeler. And you can freeze hardback crab and they work just as well. Well, they do round here. It doesn't matter if they're frozen. They are better if they're live. I think you get a more aggressive take. You get a lazier take, I think, with the frozen. We're talking tiny percentage differences, but that's my viewpoint. Yeah, hardback crab. The smoothhounds don't swim around going, oh, hardback, oh, hardback. I'm waiting for a peeler. It's just that peelers smell more. The only reason why a fish might zoom in on a peeler is just because they're giving off that scent. Yeah, and it's only the female peelers that give off the scent. That's how I understand it. I'm sure there's very knowledgeable people here that would say differently. Tanner's Lane, good from stingray. Yeah. I've got some marks. I've got some marks for stingers. I met Jack, amazing guy, yeah. Jack Hargreaves, it's amazing what things take. Right, so we're at 15 minutes past, I'll do the draw. We've got 92 people on, 130 odd entries. I'll refresh the entries and then we'll go for it. Rex Hunt, yeah. Fester Evans, good evening, buddy. Grew up with Rex Hunt, brilliant. Not grew up with him, you didn't live down the road and go playing football outside. You grew up as in watching him. Yeah, I like Rex Hunt, it's funny. George Ray, favourite surname there, buddy. John Wilson. I fished on the same boat that John Wilson caught his skate with his daughter. Know when he did that video? That was the same. I don't know if that was Laura Dawn 1 or Laura Dawn 2. I'll have to ask Lee which one it is. But yeah, he went up there and caught those as well. Hardbacks, yeah, seriously, save yourself fortune. Absolute fortune. I can go and catch in 15 minutes 100 hardback crabs, and enough for 2 sessions. Use about 40 in a session. And then use the ones that are live, and then put them in a bag, freeze them. Yeah, they die nicely because they chill down and cool down. And next time you've got a whole nother spare lot for fishing. Love John Wilson watching blank pike session at Broadlands. Broadlands is literally just down the road from me. I have lots of hard crabs. I wonder when Mr. Wilson will be mentioned. What about Matt Hayes and Mike Brown? Matt Hayes and Mike Brown. Matt Hayes. Yeah, I've watched them. It's just that in my mind, the ones that really stand out were the old-fashioned type characters. They're the ones that really stick in my memory, and I don't think you can get anything more eccentric than Jack Hargreaves. I thought he was amazing. Rick's answer was mad. He was mad as a box of frogs. Kissing fishes. Stu's been very busy. So he's a busy man, doing busy things, and locked down. So I think I don't know. I preach what I've sort of said. I've tried to message people and just say hi, how you doing. I spoke to Stu recently. He just hasn't been able to go fishing. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. That's a good one, that one. How are you going on with the 525? Right, so the 525 Mag 3s. I'm stuck on an editing thing. So I filmed it from 2 camera angles, changed all 6 bearings in both reels, took minutes, didn't take long. Took longer to film it than it did to actually do the job, if that makes sense. So there's one bearing that's a little bit tricky, but even that's not difficult. So I'll put ABEX 7s in, yeah, and I'm just waiting for a chance to use them. I'm going to lower my reel position on the Centuries and try and improve by loading the rod my pendulum cast, which is pretty poor, to be honest. But practice makes perfect. But yeah, the 525s, they're good to go. Jack was very with the Romanis. Okay, he was always doing horses and little carriage things and all that. I used to like it when he used to sit in his workshop and show you some rusty old piece of metal and go, guess what this is for? And you'd be like, oh, that looks like something like for shoeing a horse, or that's for like I don't know, for filleting frogs, or I don't know, something stupid. And then come back and, oh no, this is a tool that a rope maker would use for making a double, triple, what. You'd be like, oh, yeah, I can see that. And you didn't have a clue. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbit. Right, so we've got 95 people online. We do the competition draw, and if anyone wants to tolerate me jibber-jabbering on, or be thinking of some questions if you want to talk about something or some subjects. So as always, I go onto an online comment picker. I have no input into this. I've already copied and pasted the link. I put the keyword in. So just so we can show, what happens is I press this button first and it will look for how many. So there's 143 entries to this competition. Nice strong competition, that one. And then we just scroll down, and then it's got the start button, and it says and it will just pick a random, out of those 143 entries, it will pick a random winner. So it's going through all the names. You can see them all flashing up on the screen. And Wayne Swatton, a regular follower of the channel, a guy that I've never actually met myself, but I appreciate your support, buddy. I really do. I see your name coming up regular. We always have a little bit of a talk and a chat. So the winner of this competition, February 21, is Wayne Swatton. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick picture of that, so just so we've got the evidence, if you like. As always with the competitions, just make contact with me, Wayne, because obviously I can't contact you. I don't have your details. But if you contact me via Facebook, Instagram, you can contact me via my email address, markwilliamsangling@gmail.com. Yeah, we'll link up. I'll probably talk to you on the phone is probably the easiest way. So if you make contact with us, buddy, I'll contact you. You get in touch with me, I'll make contact, and then we'll discuss and start thinking about if you've got a preferred supplier. I'm happy to do that. Just give me their details, and you need to think about what you'd like. So it's £75 worth of online bait delivered to you, and I suggest it's the frozen stuff. There is a supplier near me, so I can send you a link to the people if you'd like to choose from them, or if you've got someone else you'd prefer to use, we'll do that. So Wayne, yeah, thank you very much. Congratulations, buddy. That's the February 21. Don't forget, if you're into the competitions, the skate one for later in the year, for the longest day of the year, with the road map out of COVID as it stands, things can change. We can change the dates. Lee Taylor's very graciously offered up the boat and the experience of a skipper that can put you onto giant common skate, as seen in one of my videos previously. If you're interested in that, there's going to be 2 winners, 2 separate individual winners, and you can have monthly entries into that one. So the system, I can tell to let you have your monthly entries, and we'll be doing the draw. All the details are in the video. The video, you have to look and read the comments, and then put the keyword in the comment section. That's your entry. Subscribe, keyword. So if you'd like a chance of winning that, especially now we know the roadmap out of COVID is looking like it's going to support it, absolutely stunning. So yeah, congratulations, Wayne. I'm chuffed to bits for you. It's a prize I'd like to win. I've emptied my freezer now. I've literally run it right down because I'm going to defrost it, give it a good clean out, and I'm going to go and restock it again. So that would have been a good one for me. Congratulations, mate. Well deserved. I know you're a regular commenter on the channel, and it's yeah, I'm pleased for you, buddy. Okay, so Darren's talking about the Fenix HP 30R rechargeable headlamp. It's sold out, which I saw you showing off on your workshop vid last year, and found one in Plymouth, and it's on its way. Okay, the only thing I can suggest with the Fenix stuff, you can buy Fenix batteries, and Fenix batteries, I can't remember if it comes with 2 and you can buy extras, but just buy the best quality batteries you can, because you can get the same type and spec of battery, but different brands have got serious differences in their quality. Fenix use good quality ones anyway. I think from memory, and you can research this yourself, I think Sony or Samsung, I can't remember which, but if you research it and the top 10 rechargeable batteries, the 1860s, and it'll give you which ones they score the best. But yeah, it's a good torch. Wayne Swain. I'm not going to hear the last of it now, are we, Wayne? It's just going to be there all the time now. Who's won a competition? Right, guys, have you really peaked too early? Have we got any questions? Has anyone got anything they want to have a chat about? Have you got any bits and pieces? I've not really got an agenda for tonight. It was all about the competition. Do you use a beach shelter only in bad weather or most of the time? Right, so that's quite an easy one for me to answer, really. If I'm going beach fishing and filming, I take a shower, just because I haven't got it to hand. I have bought one recently because I'm sort of like trying to branch out different camera angles and stuff, but my main camera is a camera, not a adventure camera, so it's not waterproof. And I have it on a tripod, and you need lighting, because especially where I live, if you fish during the day, chances of catching something are between 0 and 1. You go at night and your rods won't stop jangling. So yeah, I take a shower, and I went for the Bigaloo, which is a nice shouter. It can be a bit big, it's a bit unwieldy, but then it gives me all the room I need for camera gear and you know, and sort my kit out. So yeah, if I go from the beach, pretty much I'd like to say about 95% of the time I take a beach shower, just because of the camera gear. It's nice in the summer when you know the forecast, you know, and you don't need to take it. But then what you tend to find in the summer, early hours of the morning, if you're fishing overnight, is you get that mist, and it's like rain. You get like the sea mist, and that just saturates all the camera anyway. So yeah, I use a beach shower all the time. Someone else won it. I've just ordered 65 quid of bait from Solent Baits. Yeah. Well, I'm going to clean out. I'm going to give it a proper sterilise. I might even give it the old bleachy cloth job, you know. Give it a real good hook out, and then as soon as we can, you know, get in amongst it, I need some sand eel. I need a lot of sand eel. I need a lot of mackerel. I need a lot of squid. So it's worth buying it in bulk. Preferred rig for smoothhound, very easy. The second version of the Up and Over that's on the channel, that is the rig that I use for smoothhounds. 3 foot trace, 2.5, 3 foot trace. Enough time for them, because they seem to grab and swim, and they're sort of crunching. This is what I've got in my mind when you feel, and you know, a very light drag so that it can take line, but it's enough to turn the hook. And about a 3 foot trace on an Up and Over. And then you, like I described earlier, hard back crab, rear legs removed, wide mouth hook, size 4/0, through the 2 sockets, and then elastic all the legs and up the shank. I'm going to do another video. When they start, I'm going to do another video. I'm going to try and capture the take as well, because that's the most exciting bit. It's the bit that I've struggled with up till now. But yeah, Up and Over. Glad to see COVID hasn't got you. Yeah, I'm glad of that as well. Are you still enjoying your new boat? I enjoy seeing it. Yeah, seriously, I love my boat. I don't want to keep on about it, you know, and all the rest of it, but someone has asked. It is genuine. I love it. It's amazing. It is proper dream stuff, you know. I sold everything, saved anything that was superfluous, you know, anything to try and, you know, and then all of a sudden the bank said, oh, you can have the money for a purchase at really low interest rates at the moment. I was like, I had the money saved, and then I bought the boat with that. We've done the preferred rig. Any more thoughts on the adjustable crimps? I've just not done any beach fishing. I don't want to call it. From what I can see, I think they've got a really nice niche use, and that is underneath an SRT spring with the hangover. So an Up and Over rig, running ledger, underneath, because then it acts as a cushion to the SRT spring as well, and it's adjustable. The rig's adjustable as the body stretches, compared, or if you change the hook snoods and you haven't quite got the hook in the right position, you got that bit of adjustability. I just want to try it. I want to try it before I really call it. Can you give a shout out to my son Max as he watches all your videos? Emma Lindsay. Good evening, Max. I don't know what sort of age group we're talking about here, so if it's your son under 16 possibly, but yeah, Max, if you're enjoying the videos, contact me, give me a shout, I'll send you some stickers. I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but that's all I've got. If I had something nicer, I'd send you something nicer, but I haven't got anything. I can send you some stickers. Contact me via one of the links and I'll send you some stickers. On the subject of bait, have you ever used lamprey? No, genuinely. I'm quite keen this year. Been talking to people, and again, it's the restrictions. I want to try live sand eel. But live sand eel, there's a routine for me to go and collect them from the boat, live, in a cool box, with towels. I'd love to try live sand eel, because I think so many bottom feeding fish see that glint of silver. That glint of silver switches them all on, or that green sort of flash, depending on the colour of the water. Yeah, live sand eel, drifting live sand eel for bass. Love to try that. Andy Cole, take your shouter all the time. For how much a shouter weighs and the awkwardness in carrying far outweighs that shower that wasn't on the web forecast, I think, on a beach exposed. Not exposed, but exposed to the elements. Excuse me. Yeah, I think I would have liked a smaller. Sometimes I prefer a smaller shouter. Sometimes the bigger. I'll stick with the bigger because it covers all aspects. Have you thought about adding rod sleeves to your shop? I'm wanting some good quality rod sleeves. I've considered all sorts, from made rigs, some like terminal tackle, clothing. Finding someone quality to supply my clothing has been a nightmare, to the point where I won't do it. If I can't find someone that will do this in a quality way for me, then I'd rather not do it than it to be something that I'm not happy with. I don't have a retail shop, and there's not enough hours in the day, genuinely. And I don't say that in any kind of flippant way. There's just, I struggle with it. It's been more time fishing, less time on a computer trying to send stuff out to people. You were saying you were planning to go sharking later, and can I ask what gear you were planning on using? £50 class rod, and a TLD reel, loaded up with possibly. I've got my Daiwa BG fixed spool, which I used for skate fishing from the shore. I'm tempted to match that up with some kind of popping £50, £60 class rod, and use that £90 Spectra braid, because it's not the braid that's, you drift that line out, and then it's what the end tackle is going to be. We get threshers and poor beagles in and around the Isle of Wight, and I don't want to go at it half cocked, and I'm being given some very good advice by people that are experienced in these things, so I would defer to them. So I haven't got the gear yet. I know what I'd like to use. I'd like to make use of some of the stuff I've already got. If it means I've got to have something very specific, or I go with someone else, I think that might be the route. First one ever, go with someone else. I'd like to catch one from my own boat. Sandy on black lug, very scarce. Yeah. Do you know, a stone of sand eel is £20 or £30. If you do the calculations, that's a lot of sand eel. That's a lot of sand eel compared to what you pay in little packs for smally stuff in the shop. Has the Achios Fury 420 or 4? So the 420 and 450. That's the lengths, isn't it? Achios Fury. I don't know is the honest answer. But what I will say is a lot of these continental style thin blanked rods now, the technology in those things is amazing. For the price you're paying, they'll cast like up to an 8-ounce weight, 8 ounce in bait, and sit there and still register small fish bites. And you're like, how do they do that? How can you cast an 8-ounce weight, which has got some fair old thump to it, because you're using a long rod, so you're putting a lot of power into that rod, and it's returning it out to the cast. I think a lot of people are going to go eventually to the long rod fixed spool, just because of the benefits it gives, especially on bigger beaches where you need the distance helps. You don't need distance. If you've got a bait in the water, you're in with a chance. But yeah, some of these long rod options, they're amazing. I don't know personally for the Achios Fury, but I'm guessing they'd be of the same sort of trait. And I think usually they've got different grades where you watch the casting weight will give the tip deflection, what kind of indication you're going to get on the tip as well. So some of these rods now, the spec of them are really, really clever. They're good. How's the Van coming on? Van is an absolute workhorse. It's amazing. So I've put big chunky tyres on it. They cost a fortune. They hurt compared to what the standard tyres was. these were nearly double the price of a standard set of tyres. So it's got big chunky tyres on it. It's got big ground clearance because it's the high lift one anyway, the high spec, high weight spec one. My nose is itching. And the front mounted tow bar. Genius. Front mounted tow bar, left bias. So when I've hitched up to the boat and I'm manoeuvring it around the boatyard and putting it down the slipway, I can see all the way down the side. And if I'm doing it on my own in the pitch black, my driver's headlight lights the way. Genius. Brilliant. Filming. I'm waiting for the clocks to change because there's not enough hours in the day. Trying to film anything on the van in the dark just doesn't work. I know it worked during the day. Has a very nice tip for yeah, I can imagine that, Jamie Steed. I bet that's got a real good casting action, but then you still get the tip indication. And how they get that combination, I have no idea. Just had to duck out what they missed. Competition was cancelled. We decided that because people were just ducking out, we weren't going to do the competition. Boat fishing session going to be shown. I've got 2 in the can, so I've got 2 in edit. So I don't know if you know, my computer went on a super edit and go slow to the point where it was impossible to edit. I've gone for a laptop new version of that. I don't know if I'm not a computer geek, but I am an Apple addict because that is really old. When I say really old, I mean 2012, 2013. And it just suddenly decided on the last update that it just didn't want to edit videos anymore. And it was just too long. I just couldn't edit a video. So I've gone for if people will understand this, an M1 chip MacBook Pro. And it does it really quick. So I edited one the other night. And I've got another one in the camera ready to load up. I can't get to a beach. I've done the Chesil Bay. I've done it. That's the closest beach to me. It's Chesil Bay. I suppose I could do Western Shore. I might do Western Shore. That's less than 3 miles away. Yeah, tough bets. I'm good, mate. And yourself? John Wilson. What? The John Wilson? Good evening. Seeing a lot of place caught on YouTube off boats. Have you got a trip plan for the orange spots? So I've made my drifting rigs for place. The place that are being caught are the skinnies, and they're the early showers, and they're very sporadic, very few and far between. What I did see today was some huge offshore wreck pollock. Who's going offshore and wrecking? I don't know. But yeah, there's some huge pollock being caught at the moment. Double figures and up, ridiculously big stuff. Seeing a lot of places there. Nope, not having that. But don't ask then. Picked my new rods up last Friday. Any fish anywhere? TM Pros Mark II. Now looking for new reels. And you go, are you going to put fixed ball multipliers? Are they rung for both, or are you choosing? Or it'd be interesting to know what you're going for. Just got over COVID, mate. The whole house had it. My daughter. Oh no, mate. That's sad news. So you're all fit and well, and healthy now. And I'm going to ask something now because I don't know, and there's no venom in this. It's just a question. Does that mean you've got some kind of immunity now? Does that mean if you've had it and you're good the other side, do you still have? Have you been offered a jab? Do you still get a jab if you've had it? And then I'm guessing if you've had it and you're better, then now you've got some immunity. I don't know. I don't understand how these things work. But no, seriously, yeah, I feel for you, buddy. If the whole house went down with it, I bet that wasn't happy. Wasn't good. Clive Painter, good evening, buddy. Any footage from the new drone? Right, so, the new drone. I took it to go and use it, put it on a boat, took it just offshore, was going to do a little bit of filming. It said, calibrate gyro. Okay, calibrate gyro. No, you've got to go on land and calibrate gyro. Oh, right. So that means I've got to go back in to, moor up, get out of the boat. So no. And I haven't had much chance to get out. So the honest answer is no. It's good to go. It's prepped. I've read the instruction booklet. As good as that is, it didn't tell me about the calibrating gyro in there. I've got to calibrate my gyro and then take it out. So yeah, no footage yet, but I'm working on it. What else? Sorry, late. Never late, because it always just records it and then plays it again. If you didn't want to watch it now, you could always watch it later. For an online family quiz. Good luck, buddy. Andy, hope you do well. Is there a prize? I don't know. Multipliers. So what multipliers are you going for? If I'm completely honest, now that I've stripped those Pen 525 Mag 3s, the 3s, I don't know what the 4s are like, so they're not very nice inside. And when I say not very nice, there's a lot of plastic in there. There's a lot of plastic, and don't get me wrong, there's bearings and there's metal to metal and there's washers and all that. But you look inside there and you think any one of those little pieces, and then that's the cage or the case or the end plate, and you're like, I prefer reels of old, you know, that look pretty sturdy and less plastic. I suppose it's all lightweight. It's what we want. We want it lightweight. We want it easy to cast. We want it to do everything for us, and we want it to be amazing, and cheap. We're all cheap, aren't we? We want it as cheap as possible. Don't matter what it is. I want to pay as little as possible for it, and then we get what we get. So looking inside one of those pens, they're a long way from American pens of old. Yeah, Taff, I hope you are well, mate, and I hope the family's feeling a lot better. Have I got a trip planned for the massive pollock? Massive pollocks. Yeah, that even made me chuckle saying it. I said it just because I wanted to say it. Yeah, massive pollocks. Wreck fishing, full stop. I want to do some wreck fishing, but obviously sticking to the staying local rules and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I want to go and do some of that. I'm looking forward to the run when the big bass, when you can drift the banks for big bass. That's one of the ones I'm excited about. She's careful, yeah. Okay, yeah, so Taff, yeah, you've been right through it, haven't you, mate? David, got 3 fixed balls plus spare reels with new line shock leaders for sale on eBay. Oh, so you got a load of stuff, 3 fixed balls. Yeah, what fixed balls have you got then, Dave? It's give it a plug, put a link in if you want to put a link in. Had COVID, did antibody test, was positive, donating plasma. That's interesting then, isn't it? So you're donating plasma because you've had it. I suppose, does that mean you've got antibodies now? I don't know. It's all good stuff, that. Not good that you've got it, but good that it's beneficial. Have you done your drone registration now? No, because I haven't flown it. I haven't flown it, and I'm still. It's difficult. I tell you what's difficult at the moment. Doing anything with regard to any kind of legislation. So my radio ticket for the boat, I can listen in to my heart's content. It's illegal for me to transmit. You try getting a radio course. It's literally impossible because of COVID. That registration for the drone thing, I looked into it. It's so complicated. I need to pull my finger out and get it done. Pen Fathom 15 and get them magged. Okay. Bulletproof. Nice reels. The Fathoms, yeah, are they better? Are they made in a different place? Sometimes you can have pen name on something. Some are made in America, some are made in China, and then the ones that are made in Korea are even better. Yeah, I don't know. I've been using multipliers for years, primarily Slosh 30. I've got Slosh 30s on both my boat rods. But that's what I was going to fixed balls. Yeah, fixed balls. So uncomplicated. And on a long continental style rod, a fixed ball. Oh, they cast a dream. Absolute dream. Good evening. Essex Foraging and Fishing. EFAF. FAF. I've got some Magalite Green. I went for Fathom 15s. Yeah. There's a good choice of stuff out there. Right, guys. Unless anyone's got anything really, really burning, beavering that you'd like to ask, and I will check. That's about an hour, and that's where we try to keep these things without going on for too long. Congratulations to Wayne Swatton. I'd love for you to confirm. Is that the right pronunciation? Because if I'm saying it wrong, you need to tell me, buddy. Wayne Swatton, congratulations. He's going to get in touch with me. I'm going to order him all that bait, and he's going to go fishing all the time. It's good stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So, really, that's it from me, guys. Don't forget that the skate fishing competition is ongoing. The March competition will come out in March, and it's 1st March tomorrow, probably next weekend or the weekend after. Give it a little bit of a break between each one. And take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves. Start in your mind, enjoy the sunshine, start thinking of the possibilities of what we can do, stick within the guidelines of what we can't do. Yeah, so it's looking exciting now. We can err on the side of caution, but it's nice to have something to look forward to. And something to look forward to is nice long weekends, better daylight hours, a little bit of sun to make yourself feel better, and the chance to go fishing, because it's good. Clears your mind, fresh outdoor air, and we loves it, don't we? We loves a bit of fishing. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. As always, I appreciate your company, I appreciate your support, and I look forward to spending time with you again soon. So from me, for now, from the loft, because that's where I am, it's bye for me, tight lines, and I'll see you soon. Take care.